in this tutorial I'm going to show you how to micro adjust your exposures on your JPEG images. Now a lot of people say to me it can't be done, you've got to shoot in RAW to have any kind of adjustment after the event, but that's not true. You can, using levels and curves and a few other things, micro adjust your exposures. So long as they're not overexposed, you can do quite a bit of exposure adjustment on the JPEG image. So that's what we're going to do on this one. I'm going to work on the same images that we used before, purely and simply because I've left the colour corrections open, just as a reminder that if you're going to do any colour correction before you do your micro adjusting on your exposures, to make sure you do them first, not after you've done the micro adjustment, otherwise you'll end up with even more colour corrections that need doing. So just to remind yourselves, if you're going to do colour corrections, do them first before you do the micro adjustments of the levels. So to adjust your exposures using levels, it's quite simple. You can see on the histogram up here we've got a couple of bits of info which we can fill in. So we just quite simply go into the levels on the adjustment layers, and that brings up a little dialog box which is a copy of the histogram, and you can see on the same thing on here as you can here. Some bits of info that are missing down here in the darks, the blacks, and up here in the whites, which are the highlights. So we'll start off down in the darks and the shadows, and we'll just click on that slider and just drag it across just till it starts to clip on that information there. This is picture information which we don't want to hurt, so we're going to keep out of that. We'll then go up to the other end and click on the far slider, which is the highlights or the whites, and we'll drag that down till it's just touching the beginning of that file information, which again, that's all picture information, we don't want to hurt that. We'll click OK, and then if we have a quick look at our exposure, we can see it's quite a massive difference that makes to the exposure, especially in terms of brightness and contrast. Just that little bit of fine tuning goes a long way, and that's how simple it is to micro adjust an exposure on a JPEG image.